This one small correction to your hooks is gonna make them so much more powerful.
Seconds.
20 seconds. He's knocked him down again, and so he's all over.
Yesterday was July 4th and we were having a huge sale at Strike Ready in celebration of that. My offense and defense course, 67% off for just $99 for the bundle. You're gonna learn how to actively defend yourself the way I can. I've experienced hardly any knockdowns in my 20-year career as a kickboxer, with some MMA fights sprinkled in, and karate combat with these teeny tiny gloves. You wanna learn how I do it? Check out that course, and then the offense one added in as well to learn exactly how I craft my style and how I make people very confused on what I'm gonna throw. All that and lots more, link down below to strikereadycombat.com. Now this morning, I was doing a Zoom private with one of my regular clients, and we were working on a combination, doing something like jab, inside low, cross hook, coming to the round kick, doing this back and forth with his training partner. I was watching, I'm like, whoa, 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 let's make a correction. I see what we need to do. And a lot of times when we're looking at techniques, for instance, a roundhouse kick, I see somebody throw a round kick and right away I go, okay, there's the problem. And it can make them not be able to kick up at head level. They're going, how do I get up to head level? I just can't do it. I'm not flexible enough. It's just because I'm too stiff down here. And I go, no, no, check out your shoulder. The shoulder that matches the kicking leg is drawing back as you kick. Therefore, you can't get that leg up high. As if you rotate that shoulder forward, everything is just solved. Well, it's the same thing that we were talking about today with this left hook. When we're trying to maximize power, and we have to make sure that when we recognize we're maximizing power and doing a technique correctly, as well, we are minimizing risk for injury prevention when we do things correctly. If I pull my shoulder back as I round kick, think of the strain through the lower back there. This is going forward, this is coming back. Oh, that's awful. We want to float in. Same thing when we go to throw hooks. A lot of times people get wrist damage, and that is one of the most common errors or common injuries in fight sports is wrist damage. So if I throw my hook and you go, okay, what's he doing wrong right now? All right, I'm fighting to get my elbow up high and I'm throwing. What's wrong with this technique? Look at my shoulders. My shoulders are low and they're staying low through the punch. That means that I actively have to torque this elbow as high as I can, and I can already feel the stretch through the chest. For some reason for me there, I'm going, whoa, and then it kind of goes into my bicep and I'm having to fight upwards because if I drop, I know I'm gonna hurt my wrist. But if I take my shoulders and as I throw, I draw it up, stretch, no stretch. No protection for counter shots, enormous protection for counter shots. Ease of keeping my elbow up is very difficult. Ease of keeping my elbow up is so simple. So all I was showing him was elevate your shoulders. You could do it beforehand too. If you're somebody who naturally just sits with those shoulders very high, you just keep them high. If you're somebody who lets them rest down a little bit lower, as you throw your hook, you bring that shoulder up in height. Now, I want to talk about what do we do for body shots. But I just want to really emphasize that when you throw a hook, either side or an overhand, it's going to help you so much just doing that little shoulder shrug. Right? It's like when you grab weights and you're trying to work on your triceps, you just shrug away. Well, you do that as you throw your hook, and boom, you've solved so many issues that you probably have when you throw that technique. Now, when we go down to the body, trying to keep my shoulders up and come down is very awkward. So we need to recognize we're not gonna try and do that when we come down low. If I come off a cross and then I come hook to the head, shoulder can be high. I come cross down to the body, I'm not gonna worry about that in the same way. But naturally, as I lower my hand, I don't have to worry about flaring my elbow up. And remember, when we make impact on something, we have our elbow lined up behind it so that this wrist doesn't just collapse. Because if I come low and I hit like this, this might keep moving like that. But when I come with support behind it, we're just gonna follow through, or all the impact draws down into the arm. So 1, 2, and I get big whip behind it by turning that shoulder all the way to the front, but making sure that the elbow is still supported behind the fist is such an important aspect. I truly believe that if you've been having trouble with your hooks, whether it's through injury or just technical prowess, getting that shoulder up and following through is going to give you so much more power. You might not believe it, but I feel it on pads all the time. I'm holding for somebody and I'm like, hey, give me a power hook. And they kind of trying to hit hard, but something's off with it. And when we get that shoulder up, it's so much easier because you're not worried about damaging yourself and you got all that support naturally behind you and you're not compromising your body in this awkward way that just feels so unpleasant as the muscles stretch out. So that's my tip for you guys today. Try and play around with it. Again, you can have your shoulders just up as you're shadow boxing, and I normally do that anyway because they help protect me from the outside. But if you're not somebody like that, if you're somebody who moves more like this, as I throw, just get that shoulder rising up just a little bit. And it's probably easier to do it on both sides, not just one side shrugging up. This one's down, this one's up. Just bring them both up during that punch. It'll give you extra protection anyway. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining. I'll see you back here soon.